Hello, everyone. Welcome to Claret and Booze. This is Nick. This is a match reaction. We just got beat 3-1 by Man City. We'll start at the beginning. Before we go anywhere, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, drop a like on the video. Same old, same old. Right, okay, look, we got beat 3-1. Bit of a mixed bag for me in terms of how I feel, because I expected the defeat. I did. I don't think it was the worst performance in the world either, to be honest, against a really, really good City team. Let's face it. You know, I think our record against City is shocking. It is. Somebody sent me the stats. I don't know how true this is. Was it 17 times we played them in the league prior to this, and there were 14 wins and 14 defeats and three draws. So I weren't expecting anything. I was over the moon, you can imagine, when I saw that starting lineup. When I saw the starting lineup, I was just like, fucking hell. It just like a massive weight had been lifted. I've been so nervous about that, you know, all day, all since the last game. Souček not starting, Soufal not in there, and I was absolutely fucking buzzing for kickoff. I really was. I was really up for it. And so the team. I think we started really well. You know, that sort of starting lineup was beautiful. I run through it. We had Areola, we had Aaron Wan-Bissaka, we had Dinos and Kilman partnering. We had Emerson at left back. You had a good solid foundation of Rodriguez and Alvarez. You had Paqueta in the 10, who we'll go on to talk about a little bit later. Bowen right, Kudus left, and you had Antonio up front. I can't really knock that. Personally, I would have also picked Antonio today. Because I do think that he offers more than Füllkrug. I do. I think if you're not going to be the type of team that arrows service into the box, Füllkrug's going to be about as much use as a wheelie bin. He just is. He's a target man. He needs to supply into him. We don't do that. So I think Antonio's always going to be more useful than him, unless we're at a stage where we're going to start putting wingers on the pitch and start putting balls in the box. That's what I think anyway. But look, for 3 minutes of that game, I thought, hang on. What's going on? For 3 minutes, we was like prime Brazil. It was fucking ridiculous. We was all over them. We was pressing them high. We looked beautiful, short, sharp, really good passing. It looked fantastic. We was all over them. And then we weren't. For the next, I would say, for the rest of that half, we went from Brazil, prime Brazil, to Kidderminster. Not quite that bad. But basically, we just stood off Man City at that point. I know a lot of people will say, you don't stand off of Man City. They push you back. They force you back. I get that. I get Man City have a lot of the ball, and it is a little bit like that. It's Man City. It reminds me of if you're playing against a really good fucking snooker player and you miss, and you know you're going to be sitting down for 5 minutes. They don't let go of the ball. What they did do, you could see they slowed it down. We started really quickly. They just slowed it down. They held onto the ball for a little while, took the wind out of ourselves, and then slowly picked us off. Yeah, the first half wasn't great at all. Obviously, the first goal that we conceded was awful. It was a mix-up between Emerson and Paqueta. It was a poor pass from Emerson. But maybe Paqueta could have done better, I don't know. But it was a shit pass. And you can't go giving Man City chances, because especially the form that Haaland's in. And he just didn't make it. He made no mistakes. He just slotted it away. So it was that was 1-0. Then they got the second, didn't they? They got the second. I'm sure that's the way it went. Or did it go 1-1 first? It might have, yeah, because basically Bowen put a cross in from the right hand side, crossed it into no one because there was no one in the middle. Came off of Diaz, and it went in. So we got a goal back. But Haaland's second goal, I was fuming about in the stadium. Might have been the angle I was sitting at, but I'm glad I've watched it back. I've watched the highlights just now. It's just a fucking great goal. His first touch just takes Emerson out of it completely, and the finish, fuck off. It's just ridiculous, just mad. But obviously, prior to that, you know, you had De Bruyne in the bar. They had loads of chances. I counted it after the first 3 minutes. They could have been 4-0 up in 17 minutes, and we couldn't have complained. They was that much on top of us in the first half. They was cutting through us at will. We was really poor defensively, even though we had the two holding defensive midfield players, they were cutting through us at will. I thought the defence was not great from our point of view. I wasn't overly happy with Kilman today. I think that was his worst game. He's not great, it seems, when players are running at him. So he's great in many respects, but from what I saw today, he seems not that comfortable when players are running at him. He stands off of them. He doesn't seem to get touch tight with anyone. I saw Haaland was kind of standing more on Kilman than he was on Dinos, which is strange. So out of the two of those, I don't think either of them were that great, but I think Kilman was the worst of the two today. Second half, we came out, so we went in 2-1 down. Second half, we came out poor. Man City were all over us for 10 minutes, and then we hit them on a break. Great move between Bowen and Kudus. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. You know, that we just sort of tore from one end to the other. Kudus has to score. He has to score, but he hit the bar. That would have made it 2-2. And do you know what? I would say for the rest of that half, I would say it was relatively even, or as even as it can be. We had a go. We really, really had a go. All right? And I'm going to have a moan now. All right? Because I do think I didn't expect to win that game. You know, even if we'd have done everything right, there's a good chance that against Man City, you're not going to win anyway. We had a go. We didn't sit back. We didn't just accept defeat. We didn't. I don't get the changes. I know that Emerson was booked. I know he was booked. But he's a seasoned professional. The guy isn't going to go lunging in and getting himself sent off. You've got to trust your players. So to hook off Emerson and replace him with Soufal, taking Aaron Wan-Bissaka out of position and putting him out on the left and putting Soufal at right back was weird enough. And then taking off Alvarez for Souček. You're 2-1 down. You're in the game. We're making chances. And also Füllkrug as well. So you've got Füllkrug, Souček and Soufal. I'm sorry, I class all of these players as what I would call cloggers. They're not creative. They're not really, even though Füllkrug's an attacking player, you need to provide for them. I know that Souček had a chance when he came on. Füllkrug won the ball and it fell to Souček and Souček fluffed it. It went past the post. So it almost worked. You know, the box crasher, it almost worked. But that was the only time it happened. So why he made the decision to bring on Füllkrug and Souček, but not change the game plan so that we basically start arrowing balls into the box to try and make the most of it, I don't know. It was a weird decision for me. When you're 2-1 down, you should be looking to the bench for players that can attack them, pace. We've got Somerville, we've got Guillermo on the bench. Why were they not the first ports of call? Why was Soufal and Souček the first players that you bring on when you're, you know, when you're down? I know Somerville came on very late, and he hit the post. So yeah, look, we had to go right to the end. It was a much better performance, the best performance by far overall, and it gives us a load of encouragement going into the international break. Even though now that's 2 losses from 3 games. There are still some concerns. He needs to do a lot of work with that squad because defensively we're still shit. We are bad. You know, that wasn't just because we was playing Man City today. Like I said, they could have had 4 goals in 17 minutes. They're fucking De Bruyne missed these chance. I don't know. But the same with Aston Villa. The same with Palace, who are a bit shit. They could have had 3 goals in the first half. Even Bournemouth should have scored a few goals. We still look weak as shit, weak as piss in defence. And they look a little bit disjointed, like they don't know what they're doing. So the next 3 weeks, he needs to really, really try and get it into them what he wants them to do, because they don't look entirely convinced. They don't look like they know what they're doing, is what I'm trying to say. It was a bit weird, Fabianski coming on for Areola. I'm assuming he had a knock or something like that, because Areola had a decent first half. He made that great save from De Bruyne, who just surprised him with that fucking whip into the near post. Great save that was. So I'm surprised, and I can see there's a lot of people picking on Paqueta here. I can see that Paqueta did not have a good game. He didn't have a good game, but he also weren't awful. The trouble is with Paqueta, there are going to be loose passes with him. It weren't a good game from him, but for whatever reason, if Paqueta makes a loose pass or he does this and he does that, everyone's on him. You're shit, Paqueta. He worked his arse off today. He tried. He put in some fucking great challenges. And he also made two or three key passes that led to our chances. He did make some fuck ups. He made, like I said, he was involved in the mistake for the first goal. And one of the things that he did in the second half was where he played that kind of diagonal ball across our 18-yard box that got intercepted. That really made me go off me nut. But yeah, I don't know why Paqueta gets so much hate. I've got to be honest. He didn't have the greatest game today, but he was still involved. He was. What would you rather have Souček in there? Would you? This is what I'm trying to say. So we've got Soler now. Soler might come in. But the thing is, with the likes of Paqueta, he's a type of player in the 10, he's going to take risks. He's going to take chances. That's how he creates chances, by trying to do things that are not easy. They don't always come off. Would you rather him be a James Ward-Prowse who don't ever do that? Just play sideways and backwards in case he gets intercepted and it don't work. He didn't have a great game today. He didn't. But he still created. He still made some good chances. Paqueta is always going to do that. He is a creator. Let's hope that Soler is a little bit more consistent with his chance creation. But no player in that position is going to be 100%. Not a single player in that 10 is going to, every single pass they make is going to come off, because what you're doing is you're trying to thread the ball through the eye of a needle. When you're trying to unlock a defence like that, it's got to be precise. Paqueta wasn't overly precise today. There were a few times where we broke, especially in the second half, where he could have played a bit of an easier through ball than what he tries to do. It's like he tries to thread it through and nutmeg players and stuff. He tries to do things overcomplicated sometimes, is what I'm trying to say. He's too creative. But I love Paqueta. I do. I don't, like I said to you, I don't know why people are on him constantly. When he makes mistakes, I don't get it. He takes risks. He plays forward passes. That's what we want, isn't it? We want to go forward. We want to score goals. That's what we want. So you need players like that. You at least need fucking one. You can't have everyone playing it safe. Oh look, I've got 100% success rate because I pass sideways and backwards. Paqueta's not like that. He's not. His immediate thing is to go forward and look for a forward runner. That's what he wants. He wants to get forward and score a goal. So look. As it turns out for me, I don't think Paqueta was the worst player on the pitch. I don't think Aaron Wan-Bissaka had a great game, by the way. He didn't have a great game. They was targeting Wan-Bissaka. I mean, I feel sorry for him because it ain't like he had it easy. I mean, at one point he had De Bruyne, Grealish and Bernardo Silva on him. So, what are you supposed to do in that instance? But they were targeting him because the weird thing was, because he had pocketed Doku in that cup final at the end of last season, they put Doku on the other wing. And I don't think Wan-Bissaka had overly the great game. I thought Emerson was okay. Apart from his sloppy pass, Emerson did quite well. The centre backs weren't great, and I thought Alvarez and Guido looked good. They looked decent. They did look good. Paqueta he didn't have a good game. Paqueta had a 6 out of 10 performance for me. He weren't shit. He was not shit. He was a 6 out of 10 for me, and. I think Kilman was possibly lower. He was a 5 or a 6. I think Dinos was probably a 6. I think Wan-Bissaka 6. That's being generous. He didn't have a great game. He was, he's jockeying. There's too much distance there. With the players that he's going up against, he gives them too much. He was giving them too much space. I know you don't want them going round him, but the trouble is with them, if you don't get tight enough to them, they'll just fucking zip a ball in or zip a. If there was a few crosses that went in that I feel like he could have done better with. Emerson, I would say a bit of an above average game for me, even though he made that mistake. I felt like he did well, Emerson. I do. So what we got here? So Brian Flowers says, Nick, you're wrong. He had a fine game. No. Listen, he had a tough game because of who he was playing against. I'm not slagging Wan-Bissaka off. He's infinitely better than Soufal, but you've got to call it as it is, mate. He had De Bruyne, he had Bernardo Silva, and he had Grealish terrorising him. What was he supposed to do? Bowen had clearly been given a little bit more freedom to go further forward, so it was quite a lot. He found himself isolated. I think Antonio weren't terrible. I don't think Antonio was terrible. He made some good runs when you consider the way that we're playing. But Füllkrug, when he comes on, explain to me what he does. I don't know what Füllkrug does. I don't know. It's such a strange signing. I don't get it. Obviously, I can't really mark Souček and Soufal. I don't know what they did when they came on. Souček had a chance, as the ball often does to him. It just fell to his feet in the box. but this time he screwed it past the post. But apart from that, I don't know what he did. I don't know what Soufal did. Soufal put a cross in. He had 2 big lumps to aim at, and he hit the first man. Very, very low cross, shit delivery. I had an argument with someone in there, actually, because I said that was a fucking shit delivery. They went, no, it weren't. I was like, mate, you've literally got 2 big blokes that he's aiming at, and he's hit it at chest height, and he's got the first man, you know. So it was poor, but the yeah. But as it turns out, I'm encouraged because, like I've said before, I think there's ways to win, obviously, and there's ways to lose. That was fine. I can swallow that. I'm not raging with that at all. I expected the loss. I would have been very upset if we'd have if we'd have played the same way as we'd played in the first 2 games and not made the necessary changes. I would have, but I don't think you can really. You can't really knock what we've done too much. The only thing that I've got concern over at the moment is the defence. Lopetegui's got 3 weeks now to try and sort that out, and the transition through the pitch. But I think now Souček is now out of that team, which I hope is a permanent fixture, and we can work on Paqueta finally working on that 10, or get Soler in now. I don't care. I'm not precious. Providing we've got a creative player in that 10 that can nip midfield to attack, I don't care. We need a creative player in there. If it's Paqueta or Soler, I do not care. Either one of them. But we don't know anything about Soler yet, really, if we're being honest. We're pinning a lot of hope to the fact that he's going to be better than Lucas Paqueta. Is he going to be better than Lucas Paqueta? We'll have to wait and see. So, yeah, look, not really much more to talk about. We did well. I felt it weren't a terrible game. It could have been much worse. I have still got grave concerns for the season moving forwards, which need to be put to bed when we come back. Because if we continue to defend in this way, we will not be okay. I've seen a lot of people say if we play like that for the rest of the season, we're going to be okay. We won't. That's a good start, but there's a lot that needs to be addressed. The defence was shocking today, as it was against Bournemouth, as it was against Palace, as it was against Villa. The defence is still shit. I know we had a couple of clean sheets that we did not deserve. We haven't managed to put in a real solid defensive performance yet. I do want to see that, and I want to see us create a little bit more from open play. I did enjoy Kudus and Bowen seem to be a little bit freer today. We played a little bit more counter-attacky, didn't we, at times? And you can see them two come to life. You saw that with the chance in the second half. Kudus and Bowen, that is what they're good at. You know, just spring, bang, go. That's what gets you off your seat. And that's how you get the best out of them too. So that was good. But yeah, look, I know there's a lot of hate for Paqueta, and there is. That's up to you. I love the player. I said he didn't have a good game, but what would you rather not have him? Who would you rather put in there? You know. But yeah, look, that's it from me. I'm going to leave it there anyway. I hope you enjoyed the game. I hope you enjoy the international break. I know I'm not going to. I actually am, to be quite honest. I'm looking forward to the break because I want to see what I think. Lopetegui needs time with that group of players. When we come back, there needs to be more fluidity in the way that we're playing. He can't take forever to get the message through to his players. I'm not expecting the finished article just yet, but we still look disjointed at the moment. In my opinion, we still do look disjointed in areas. But that was a definite improvement on the first 3 games. It was. Anyway, look, that is it from me. I'm not going to talk about Duran or anything like that. I know he scored today, and you know what I think of Füllkrug. Look, as far as I'm concerned, that was a fuck up. I think we're probably going to find ourselves having to rectify that fuck up in January. That's my prediction. Is that in January we're going to have to go into the market for another striker. That is what I think is going to happen. But we shall see. Anyway, look, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Speak to you all soon. Come on, you Irons.